Man, this is gonna be one mess of a review. Hello friends, my name is Lauren and welcome back to my channel. So if you're a relatively active viewer on my channel, you know that I have relatively pretty scripted content most of the time. And I normally do have some kind of script or dot jots that I want to go over in my videos. But today, I'm just kind of talking in front of here because I just finished Wildcard by Marie Lu, and let's just say I have too much I need to say. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Alright, some non-spoilers for this book. I absolutely enjoyed Warcross so much. It was so amazing. I absolutely loved it. I'll link my Warcross review in the description below, so be sure to check that out if you're interested in reading Warcross and want to learn more about that. And Wildcard is the second and last book in the Warcross duology, so this is basically the ending of the series. So basically be sure to check out that video if you haven't already, or if you don't know what Warcross is about, because I don't want to be spoiling anything for this book, so go watch that now, and then read it, and then come to this video. But first, some non-spoilery thoughts. So I absolutely loved Warcross, and I might even have to say that Wildcard was even better than Warcross just because of all the plot twists, character development, just things that I totally didn't expect to happen, happened. Warcross, while it was dark at some times, had mostly like a positive kind of vibe to it. It was really interesting, it was action-packed, it was really cool to learn more about the world full of technology and stuff like that. But Wildcard just dives so much deeper into that, and everything just has such an overall just larger meaning. And so I don't really want to say much other than that for the non-spoiler section, but if you have read Warcross and you're debating about whether or not to read Wildcard, I would beg of you, please read the next book. I promise you, you won't regret it. I personally loved every second of this book. For the first 120 pages, some stuff happens, but then after that point it just gets even better than the beginning part of it. So I promise you, if you're on the edge of thinking about it, please just read it, you will not regret it. Alright, so that was my mess of a non-spoiler section, but now we're gonna get into spoilers. So if you have not read Wildcard, or you have not read Warcross, please stop reading now. 3, 2, 1, let's get into some spoilers, shall we? Wildcard. What can I even say about this book? So I have a few things I want to go over, but just some overall thoughts with the book. So around page 125, everything before that part I found pretty interesting. I liked, it kind of set you up for the book pretty well. It introduced you to some characters, stuff like that. But then after that point, everything just kind of plot twist after plot twist after plot twist after new everything. Oh my goodness, this book, not only was it super well written, great. I mean, I didn't even see the foreshadowing, but I'm sure there was some foreshadowing that was great, and I was just too into the story to pick it up. I not loved the plot twist, but the plot twists were so good. I probably already said that, but really good. Characters were good, backstory, settings, everything was really amazing. So my overall thoughts for this book would be high key, would recommend, A+, we stan. I got some notes here from the story that I just want to go over. I might not go through all of them, but there are some things that I really want to talk about in this book that were just, yeah. So in the beginning of the book, we learn more about how Hideo actually has access to everyone's mind, and Amika's just realizing this more and more, and that's essentially how the story starts off a little bit. In roughly the beginning of the book, Zero helps out Amika by telling her that there are 2 assassins on her trail, and if she does not do what he says, then she's going to die within the next 30 seconds. And totally not surprisingly, he's right. And so then basically Jax helps Amika escape from the assassins, and we learn how kind of crazy but super cool Jax is, as she's super talented in killing people, if that's a talent to have. But yeah, we meet Jax, who who definitely plays a huge part in the story. Fast forward a little bit, and Amika is spying on Hideo's conversation with Ken and Mary, I believe, and they're basically talking about how the suicides might be connected to the Neuralink system, whatever, and Hideo's is this true or not? And we have 2 sides fighting against it, and we basically find out later that Ken is on the other side, but yeah. And so somehow, or we learn that the system is somehow connected to people having suicides, whether or not they are guilty or innocent. So yeah, that was kind of a Hideo, what the heck are you doing? Because obviously that's not good. I don't know how else to say it other than that. Okay, fast forward a little bit again, and we learn Hideo's mom works at the same place that Sasu, because that's his name, I think that's how you say it, was kidnapped with the symbol on his sleeve. And like, I don't know about you, but like, I had to put the book down and be like, is she secretly behind this all along? What is happening? But obviously not, because she's not that good of an actor, and if she was, she would probably be dead anyways if she knew what was really going on. But yeah, so we learned that, and I was like, oh my goodness, she's behind it all, what has happened? But thankfully she's not. Then a little while after that, Tremaine opens up to Amika about everything with him and Roshan, and I was just like, oh my god, they deserve to be together, which in the end they are, so it's all okay. But yeah, I think that said a lot for him to open up to her like that, and they ended up working together, and it kind of had some consequences, but it all worked out in the end for both of them, so it's okay. Not really, but we're gonna go with it. We also find that Amika will be in the top 10 players, which as I read this, I was like, okay, Hideo or someone definitely pulled some strings to get her in there, but it seemed pretty legit that she was the person that was voted in the most by the fans. So I wonder what would have happened if she wasn't voted in, even though I mean like she was insanely popular in the last book and in the game in general, so like makes sense that she was voted in. Oh yeah, and then so she's sending messages to Tremaine to like get into that like facility, museum, thingy-majiggy, science thing, and he's not answering, and we're like, what happened to him? I don't know about you, but I didn't think much of that, even though I really should have, because it was staring me right in the face. But I figured like something was up, but like I had no idea what it could be. And then he almost dies thanks to Jax not killing him, so that was great. I remember being shook. I was like, no, he just opened up and he was gonna have this great life with Rashawn after they made up, because obviously that had to happen, because otherwise everyone would just, their hearts would break. So yeah, but then I'm glad that he's not dead. You know, that fills me with some joy a little bit. Oh yeah, and then after that, Jax just casually reveals literally everything, and how Taylor is, oh I forgot to mention about her in the beginning. Taylor sucks. I mean, she's incredibly smart, but she sucks and she's crazy, and we don't know. Just know. We find out Taylor is in charge, and Zero is actually a part of Taylor and just does everything she says, and like, I don't know about any of you, but I didn't see that coming. Like, I don't know how on earth anyone could have seen that coming. And we find out like Zero's not a real person, and Zero got his name from being Project Zero of the experiments by Taylor, and that whole scheme of things was crazy to read about. Like I'm still shook right now. I mean, I only finished it like half an hour ago, but I'm still shook. In conclusion, Taylor's the lost cause. I mean, like, what she wanted to do was like really cool and whatever, and also obviously like it says in the book that humans have wanted this to happen and stuff, but like she actually did it, and just seeing the process, like I can only imagine what Sasuke, I really hope I'm pronouncing that right, what he was going through, and it's just so sad. Oh yeah, and then we find out lots of backstory about that, and we find out that the Black Coats, like the little gang thing, is actually just like a fake business name almost for her to like do all her illegal stuff, which is one, really clever, how did she come up with that, and two, how dare she? And then we learn that Taylor doesn't actually want to destroy it or destroy the Neuralink system thing, she wants to control it, which obviously makes sense, because who in their right minds of this bad gang people would want to do something good? And I mean, I know Taylor like super convincing and genuine, and honestly I fell for it too, because Marie Lu just like sucks you right into the story and like barely gives you room to think and predict things as a reader, or at least me. You know, I'm just falling for that great story. We learned that Taylor adopted Jax. I'm glad that she didn't trust her mom, because you know, if she did, this whole story could not have happened without her. So you know, kind of important. Then we learn what she was really searching for, which is a candidate whose mind is strong enough to withstand an experiment to separate the mind from the body. Too much. Too much, too much. Okay, my bad. We learned that, and then we learned about Project Zero after that, which, oh my goodness, poor Sasuke, and everything is so sad. And this is an awful review, but man, this book just really took me by the hand, and just, I don't even know, just, this book, man, this book indeed. Oh my god, and then part of the experiment was making Sasuke watch his brother on TV, and him getting so excited, and just like, how dare she put him through that after she basically, I mean, not basically, she kidnapped him, forced him to go through with this, and then is making him watch his brother grow up and do great things while he's stuck being kidnapped in a facility where he has barely one friend. Then we learn that Zero is actually a person. Like did that not shake anyone else? Because I read that and I was like, there's no way. I must have read that sentence wrong. but I didn't. If that's a thing. He's not real. And I was like, up until this point, like I was 100,000 million% convinced that he's a real person, because why on earth would I think anything else? Like, oh my goodness, I'm just a big mess right now. Excuse this, I'm fangirling too much right now. Fangirling too much. Fangirling too much. And then they're both thinking like, I don't think Sasuke's really gone. And then they're like trying to bring up a plan to bring him back. And it's like, oh my god, I really want this to happen. But also, how on earth? And then Amika's just like, I see the plan formulating in my brain. And I'm like, how on earth do you see anything? I see chaos, death, everything possibly going wrong. I see that. So, you know, props to you for coming up with some kind of plan. And then we learn that Ken is a piece of trash because he's been ratting out Hideo and everything Hideo's been working on to the Black Coats, aka Taylor, aka Zero, aka everything bad. And so, you know, he can just go rot in jail forever. Like, no, I feel no remorse, nothing. Then Hideo, you know, just casually kills Taylor, so that happens. But then when we think everything's gonna be fine and Hideo's just gonna install some stuff to Zero and get his brother back, then Zero's like, ha! Boo, you really thought for a second there. And then the next 100 pages of the book is basically just Zero being like, not happening. And so, you know, I basically died. And then Amika wakes up, and also like Hideo wakes up, but Amika wakes up and she sees Jax like being controlled by Zero, but she's really not being controlled by Zero. And that also just shows how heartless Zero is, because he's like controlling the girl he once loved, which basically just means like Zero isn't Sasuke, which is really sad because like he's such a man. So they escape barely to the, so Amika and Hideo barely escape. I get to the safe room thing. Hideo's dying. It's all very sad. But then Amika figures out how to get into Zero's mind. And then Amika, Hideo, Asher, Hammy, and Roshan, yeah, them five, they play Warcross. And in like Zero's mind somehow, but also Sasuke's mind, because he's like helping them escape, which is really cool if you ask me. And then yeah, more or less after every citizen on the earth is brainwashed, they win. Sasuke kind of comes back and Hideo breaks down again. Oh my god, that was so sad when that happened the first time. I forgot to mention that. That was so, oh my goodness, there's so much in this book. So more or less, everything's fine, except it's really not, but everything's fine. Everyone's not being mind controlled anymore. Zero's kind of sort of gone, except not really, because he kind of comes back, but not evil. And then we get to the trial thing, and Hideo's convicted of like all these crimes, and so is Jax. But then Jax protects him, and Hideo's then going to jail. He's gonna be in house arrest for like ever. Then him and Amika get together, and it's like, yes, I wanted this ship to happen so bad, even though I didn't, but now I really do, and I'm glad that they're together, because at least Hideo had the right idea in mind, you know? I mean, mind controlling the world, I mean, minor detail. And then Amika accepts the job as like CEO or helping rebuild it, whatever, and so I was like, yes, it's gonna be rebuilt well, hopefully until the next book series Marie Lu writes. You know, that's my guess. Not actually, but like theoretically. And then the last sentence. Can we just take a moment? This is the last sentence, and I kind of was just like, oh my goodness. So, I have a job offer for you, I say to him. Would you like to hear more? I mean, like, if that's not the best way to like correlate how their stories, like, I mean, Hideo was in like some like chill wear, and Mika's all dressed all fancy, and in the Warcross it was like reversed. And when Hideo had a job offer for Amika, and it's just like, wow, what a great way to connect the books and also end this book. And that last sentence just really got me, man. Like really, like wow, just wow. That's essentially my whole reaction in this book. Wow. So yeah. That's more or less my book review / thoughts on Wildcard. I'm sorry if my thoughts are a little bit all over the place. As you see, I just finished this book like 20 minutes ago before I started recording. And so my next video is going to be an overall thoughts on the Warcross duology. So if you want to hear my more civilized thoughts on the matter, be sure to check that video out. I'm sure I'm forgetting to say a lot of stuff here, but if you're still watching this part of this video and if you've read Warcross and you haven't read Wildcard but you're still here, I mean, read this now and forget everything else I said, okay? Just read it. And hopefully, if you have read this book, leave me a comment below basically telling me something, your favorite part of the story, that maybe doesn't give it away though, but like, so your favorite part of the story, something that shocked you, literally anything about it, because I definitely want to discuss this book with as many people as humanly possible, because I'm just left shook. In fact, we're gonna add this duology to my favorite series parts right over here. Let's do that now. And here we go, they're right here. Now to be permanently added to my, or not permanently, probably permanently, favorite series, or duology I guess, part of my bookshelf. So, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and as I already said, comment down below anything you loved about Wildcard or the Warcross duology, and stay tuned for Sunday as I will have a video combining all my thoughts on the series, and it will probably be more in a civilized manner that's not all over the place. Anyways, until next time, bye!